No matter what the odds may bring our way, I can see the blessings coming our way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Blessings on blessings, yeah. I see the blessings.
Our blessings coming our way, y'all. It's coming our way. Fade on that.
Yeah, come on, personal
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Things Unspoken 589. Today we have some special guests, the Harrells.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes, we have Gabriel, also known as Gabe. And we have LaKeisha, also known as Keisha. So this week we're going to be dealing with the struggles with fertility after having children. I know for me, being that I don't have children and struggle with fertility, I have to admit I wasn't always sympathetic to the woman who have children already and experiences miscarriages. And only because I was really being like a little selfish and not compassionate, like not really realizing that, hey, it's still a traumatic thing. Like regardless if they have a child or not, it's still traumatic to lose a child. So now I'm at the place where, of course, I'm not like that. Where I do sympathize with the woman who loses a child regardless of her status of being a mother or not. And we have the Harrells here to just speak out about their journey with that, because it's a lot of women that, a lot of married couples that fall in that category where they have children, but yet they still struggle to get to the next child. And most women, I found, they don't speak out about it because they feel like, well, I'm not going to really get heard because I do have a child. So, yes, I guess just start with background about who you guys are.
Well, it all started.
It's like when people start with that, they get long. Yeah, you like, get to the point, man. Get to the point.
Well, we're the Harrells. Gabe and Keisha. Keisha, she said hers with a twang.
Yeah.
We have 2 kids. Have those back to back. Boom, boom. Then years passed. Tried again. Well, the first one we weren't trying, but things happened.
But you said again, like a backstory, like as far as us, like our story as far as the miscarriage.
However you want to start it. You can start at birth.
Yeah.
Growing up in Willacoochee doing.
I'm gonna Google that after this. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Well, I mean, we've been married almost 15 years. It'll be 15 years in March, right? 15? Yeah. 14. 14. My miscalculation. Yeah, okay. Miscalculation. So, 14 years. We have 2 boys, 8 and 7. They're about 10 months apart. We actually didn't start right off with children. We waited about 5 years. But we actually, when we got married, we were trying for like a couple of years, actually, before we conceived our first child. That's how we got over to the ministry that we're in now. I forgot ministry. I was a fresh word.
Yes.
When we came there, we didn't have any children, but we were believing God for a child at the time. And so it just so happened that we got our miracle because we conceived our first child at Mount of God, and we must have stomped a hole and shouted because we were just like, oh my gosh, like this was a miracle. Like some people don't get to see a miracle in their life. And then God was so funny that He backdoored and blessed us with our second child. Our second child. Yes. So, and then now we're here So we really didn't know that Gabe really didn't want any more kids. He was like, no, that's it for me. Because we thought that Ian was going to be a girl. Like, okay, who is a girl? We already got the names. We ready.
Boy and girl, you good.
Yeah.
I was ready to be
Like,
fixed. I
boy.
was like, as soon as we get the word, I'm in the hospital bed right next to you.
Yeah.
Like, boy. And then it said it was a boy. Gabe, I was looking at him like, you looking sad this week. He's like, no. He's like, I know you're going to want a girl. Now, this is at the appointment where they telling us what the sex is. We ain't even had him yet.
Yeah.
And he like, I know we're going to have this conversation. And I was like, I'm not even thinking that far ahead. So now we kind of fast forward to 7 years later. And to be honest with you, I never miscarried before. I've never had a miscarriage. Now keep in mind, because I don't care about telling my age, we're 38.
You didn't ask me. You didn't say me.
What about my
The
kid?
blessings of the Lord are upon us. He makes us youthful. So, when we had them, some people would consider we had them later in life because we were 30 when we had our kids. Yeah. So, most of our friends had children. Like, we were that couple that didn't have any because everybody else had kids.
What we at right now?
Yeah. But, like I said, but God was so funny because even though we conceived them, so now when we fast forward to last year, June, we actually did not know that we were pregnant. So kind of, I don't know if you're going to get into like any questions or anything like that, but that's kind of like what kind of got stuff started.
So your first miscarriage was last year?
Yeah. June.
Okay.
June of last year.
Okay. And what year of you guys' marriage did you have Gabriel?
We were in year 5.
Year 5. Okay.
Mhm.
And then year 5 and a half, y'all had.
Look, Gabriel's birthday is September 2011.
Yeah.
Ian's birthday is July 2012.
Yeah. I was back to back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So did you wait the 6 weeks?
We did.
We did. But when we went for the appointment, which we actually did at 8 weeks, he was like, oh, y'all must have been busy. I was like, what does he mean by that?
Yeah.
Well, you're pregnant. I was like, oh, wow.
Y'all
Okay.
doing a countdown.
Yeah.
I was
6 weeks.
like, wow. Well, that went quick.
I told you that was my thing the whole time. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like once you get out of the baby stage, you're out of the baby stage.
Yeah.
Your diapers, all that goes out all together.
That's why I commend people who start all the way over, and that's because that takes a special grace. Because now you have gotten used to your children functioning on their own,
Yeah.
and you talking about having a whole baby, like you starting over. But yeah, so last year, that was the first one.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So last year, June, this was what, year 13 for you guys last year then? Because this is 14?
Yes.
Okay, year 13, 2 kids already, just living life, and bam. How did you find out you were pregnant?
So actually, I found out I miscarried before I knew I was pregnant. So how that is, actually, I wasn't feeling good, so I didn't. It was on a Thursday, and I remember this because we had church. Gabe, he does the media, and so I thought that I was, and this might be just be a TMI. I thought I was menstruating, so I was like, okay, but then I got these really bad gut wrenching pains, but I never had pains like this before. I was like, oh, this is so weird, feeling like what in the world, and I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? So as I go to the restroom, I started bleeding really heavy. So I was like, okay, this is kind of awkward. And so I called Gabe, and I was like, or I think I texted a friend, and I was asking her, like, man, what do you think? So I passed something, and I had just kind of had it on the towel, and I was like, I'm looking at this. I was like, we know. We go to Dr. Google. So I went to Google and I was like, let me look at some pictures of maybe somebody who's miscarried, like what they actually passed in a miscarriage, right? So when I looked at the picture, I was like, dang, this do look like this, which looks like a sack and the baby. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure. And so then I called my friend, which I told her I think she should be a doctor anyway, because she be doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, what do you think about this picture? And she was like, he said, sis, I think that is, I think you did miscarry. I was like, that's so strange because I literally didn't even know that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And so then I called Gabe because I was like, I don't want to just get people in the tussle and I don't know. And so I called him and I told him, and he was like, oh man. So he got real sad. He was like, okay, I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna come right now. And so went through the whole process, went to my doctor, and then, you know, after a miscarriage, they have to wait till those ECG levels come all the way down to under 500, I think it is. And so I had to go for the next almost 2 months, like every week, to do blood work.
Yeah.
To get them levels back down.
Yeah.
So that was the first one.
Okay. So now we're gonna go into the feelings. So, Gabe. so weird saying it like that.
I know.
So how did you feel when that initial call, when she called you? Walk us through that emotional process for you.
When I say me, it was more like, what? You know, for you to get a phone call from somebody, from your wife, and you like, we weren't even talking pregnancy, and you like,
Yeah.
I'm miscarried. It was like, how you miscarried if you're not pregnant? It's like, God, how does
You
this
doing
happen?
the stuff, but
I don't even know how it happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm pregnant. What have you been doing? You know, but it was just like, wow. It was strange. It's like, I don't know how I should feel right now. It's like, am I sad? Am I hurt? Am I all of it? Because again, you lost something you didn't know you had.
Right.
So it was like, it was strange. So I can't say it was this. It was odd. Because like I said, you lose something that you didn't even know was there. It's just like, And I felt my emotion was more so for her. Not saying I didn't care, but you know, I can only imagine. I have secondhand grief, you know. But I was like, I was like, man, you know, could have been a child. You know, Keisha was really looking forward to a child.
Yeah.
Not saying like she said that because I didn't want a child. I was like, yes. It wasn't like, wow, it wasn't nothing like that. But it was like, man, you know. And then just like, although I say, you know, like before we got married, I said I want 2 kids. Although that's what my mind is on. Still, if you lose one, if we have a kid, I'm not gonna hate it.
Right.
You know, so it's still like, man, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
So where were you when you got the call?
Where?
church.
I was at
Oh, you was at church.
And we were.
I was at home.
No.
Okay.
So that was that. And then when she said she tried to show it to me. I was like, oh, see. She was like, yeah. Yeah, she was like, that killed the whole thing. She was like, yeah, I got it, and I got it in a napkin. You got it in a what? You want to see it?
No. When she was telling the story, I was like, dang, when Kawana had it, I wondered, I should have looked at it. That's all I was thinking about. I should have looked and seen. But then now when I had processed it more, I was like, I did not want to see this.
The fact that you caught it on the napkin, look, I don't even know how to happen.
Well, if it
different level of
wasn't,
gangster.
no. So it wasn't a napkin. So remember, I was menstruating. So that's what I thought.
Oh, it was on your.
It was on a pad.
Oh,
And she was just like,
I thought she was like,
I
ooh.
was in there wondering, how did she get
Yeah.
it?
And she just surveying it on the napkin, like,
No.
yeah, different level of G in the bag. I thought I was a G,
No.
but God damn.
And that was that. I was like, you can throw that away. I said, I don't need. She's like, you want to see it? No.
Yeah.
No.
But when it happened, this is why you have to be girded up, like really in the Word of God, because what happened is I started to spiral into like a depression. And so, because then you think in your mind, like, I mean, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? Like, why you put a life in me, God, but why did this life actually manifest?
Yeah.
So even though I have two other manifestations, we have two other manifestations of blessings of pregnancy, but then I started to think, like, so then we kind of go in our past and think about, well, is this a consequence from something that happened such a long time ago? Because a lot of people don't know. Like, I had an abortion when I was 19. And that was like the worst. I feel like that was the worst decision I ever made because I cried for like a year straight. Every day I cried. And so when we had the miscarriage, it just had me going back into those feelings. Yeah. And so then I started thinking like, well, God, I'm just not good enough and da-da-da. And maybe this is the consequence from this, even though I'm skipping over the fact that I still have two other children. Yeah. But it just shows you just how the enemy will creep in and will play on the things of your past and try to pull it into your future. And so I really thank God for, of course, Gabe and then, you know, our church family and our leaders, you know, for really girding us up and checking in on us and praying for us because a lot of people didn't even know. Yeah. So even when it happened, I was asking God, please God, hide me behind the cross. Like, hide me behind the veil because I don't want to be a hot crying mess. Because I was crying every Sunday at church. Like, God, I'm still going to give you the glory because you still deserve it. Mm-hmm. Like, you're owed this. But it was hurtful to talk about. So people were like, well, what's wrong? You know, people can tell. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you know, the thought of it made me emotional. Yeah. And so I couldn't really get the words out. And so I was telling people, like, I had to just affirm, like, it's not anybody. It's just something with me. I'm just trying to wait for the time that God really heals me to where I can really talk about it. Yeah. Because it was unexpected. Like, we just didn't. It was unexpected because number one, I didn't know I was pregnant. Yeah. And then as I found out I was pregnant, it was gone. Yeah. So it was kind of like, I felt like it was cut short. So that's, so.
Okay. So, Gabe, for you, like watching her go into that depression, like how did you deal with that?
Well, I don't know, it's difficult in the fact, and I don't know if for you, like, and I don't want to sound like I'm trying to toot the male horn, but I think, and a lot of times like this, the male, it's like, you don't get thought about. Right. Because the baby wasn't in you. Right. But it's like, it was difficult because first, you know, have to acknowledge the fact that, okay, my wife lost the baby and what's going on with her. And on top of that, as the husband, I have to set aside my grief. Because I can't be like, well, what about me? You know? Yeah. So I have to set aside my grief, hold her up, and we still got a family. Right. So it's like, okay, you can take this time out because you just had miscarriage. Mm-hmm. I have to hold you, set aside my own grief, and worry about the fact that I have a household. Yeah. So it's just like, you know, when you see stuff about miscarriage, it's like, oh, nobody ever asked you how you feel. Yeah. So I'm just like, you know, it was a little difficult because it's like, man, I was like, this sucks because to see your wife go through something like this, and then to know your own and just say, man, you know, what could have had, what if, you know, I have, like my boys now, most of them got daughters now who never wanted daughters, and they're like, man, you gotta get you a girl. I'm like, no, girl. She don't have you wrapped around you, and they're like, man, what if this was it, you know? Yeah. Was I ready? And it was like, man, because I had showed Keisha, you know, I told this sometime, I had even bought a onesie for a girl. Wow. And I just had it in the closet, and it was like, what if, and so, but it's just like, nobody cares about what you think.
Yeah.
You know, because you weren't pregnant. You just the husband. It's just like, So even, truth be told, I haven't even said that until right now.
Wow.
So
how did you feel?
It was hurtful, but it was just like, you know, like, man, because what could have been? Who knows? You know?
And I do get what you're saying as far as like it's a different level of pressure because your wife is going through this, but at the same time, even though you might be going through something, the responsibility falls on you as a man. So if nothing else goes right, then it's all going to be all the pressure is really on you.
Because I can't take the time out and to grieve
you
and say,
same level of
to say, you know what, so it's just like, okay, and in a way, it makes you a little hard, because you just everything you just gotta build. Okay, I'm not feeling this. I feel bad, but okay, whatever. I gotta get up. I gotta go to work. While she's feeling down, I have to make sure that the kids are okay. Not saying that she just was, like that, but it's those in betweens. All while, like, man,
because even with us being husbands, I mean, with y'all having actually going through the physical process of losing a child, it's not to say that it's unfair to us that we have to pick up the slack, but it is a reality. It's a reality that, of course, as a woman going through that, it is certain things that you're gonna be diminished in because you're not 100% in who you are at that point.
Yeah.
So it is certain things that you normally would do that you're not gonna be doing, or you won't be doing it to that level that you was doing it because of what you're going through. So it's like it's tough to now, like I get what you're saying, like it kind of do make you be hard because that part of you that needs to express it is not expressing it because it has to be in that box. It has to be in that in compartmentalized because
and by the time you heal, I can't be like, oh,
now it's my turn.
Now let me cry. So it's like you just the whole time you just get it. You just gotta drop it off and give it to God. You know?
You're done in the restroom. I'm about to go in the restroom.
So, well, did you reach out to any men during that time?
I didn't, in the fact of, I told my spiritual father, I took my pastor, but it was like, it's one of those things, okay, I don't know anyone who, experienced it. So it's like,
I think this is good because it allows the avenue for people to talk about it because what people don't understand is that more people have suffered a miscarriage than what we think. They're probably within our reach, but it's how do I really share it? How do I really, not saying get over it, but get over it. Like, how do I get through it? Let me say that. How do I heal or even recognize? Because there's some people that go through miscarriage like, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm great. And you like, no, you're not. Like, and you don't understand because that's tragic. Like, you've suffered a loss. So if you don't heal or, like my apostle just reminded me the other day, like if you don't mourn and kind of get it out to even get into that place of being healed, like you're going to carry that like forever. So I think this is good even just for the men, because you are right. People automatically gonna think about the woman. Like they will, and I don't think it's well, you don't mean nothing. I think it's like, okay, well, because it happened to you, like your body, but they're not thinking about, okay, well, the husband aspect. I think I probably asked maybe once, because on the phone I could tell, because he just got quiet. I'm like, are you okay? Are you all right? And he's like, I don't even know. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be good. But like just getting into that dialogue, and I think that's even good what you asking as far as other men talking about it, because we can't forget that men have emotions as well. And you can easily forget that because society has built them up to be you a man, be hard, da da da.
Be concrete.
Yeah, like, you know, don't express your feelings. That's being weak.
You don't hurt.
And it's not true. Like, they do hurt. Young men hurt. They may show it in a different avenue, whether they be through violence, acting out at school, or whatever, but it could affect them. So
yes.
Yeah.
So during that time with the first one, how did you guys communicate? Looking back now, would you say that you two communicated in the right way in that time? Like with expressing how you feel, or just, I don't know, feeling comfortable, I guess, to communicate with each other? Like, how was that communication during that time with having a first miscarriage?
I think the communication was good, because it had never happened to us.
Okay.
So it was kind of like, you know, you go through things like, you just start shooting stuff out because you're like, I don't know how I feel. Like, this is what's going on. Like, I just feel like I'm spiraling into this particular place, and I don't want to be there. But we immediately, I think not too short after, you know, we had told our leaders, and then, you know, they prayed for us, they checked on us, and then I kind of gradually start telling other people, because even when telling them, like, I was still in a broken place, like, I was still in a hurt place, so it was like, I need somebody to cover me. Not saying that Gabe didn't, because he did. He prayed for me as well. So, and still spoke life and everything. But, you know, it's something like you have to believe it. Like, you have to believe the word of God, you know, and you have to believe the prayers that are prayed over you, the declarations that are spoken over you as well. So, as far as, like, with that, I felt like at that time, like, we had, like, a deeper connection during that time, like I said, because it could have been that this was the first time that this happened. Not the first time as far as a loss, because we lost my mother-in-law about 4 years ago. But like something like this for us together. So
I said it was cool, but for me, like I said, it was just that space of looking after Keisha.
Yeah.
That was it. Because like she said, that with my mom first, and I'm the youngest, but my sister is a big crybaby, emotional. So it was like that. Really didn't get to more in that because, okay, my sister, so I have to take the lead and say, okay, I have to make sure this done, I have to do this, I have to come from my sister. Yeah. So it's like, oh, then this come, okay, boom. Get her here, put Gabe to the side. Have to come from a wife. Yeah. Boom. So that's basically, so it got, it was easier for me, but in the aspect of, from a not good place. Yeah. You know, because it's just, I had come to the point now where I just feel, you know what, boom, I had to become, I said I had to become like apathetic to stuff. Just, it happened, I gotta make sure, okay, boom. Yeah. Stone face. I have to be hard and just have no emotion toward it because other people are depending on me. Yeah. So what's going on with me is just what's going on with me. And so, I don't know, I may have come across rough or something because it's that just trying to be hard and just from trying to be hard in a place of to do right, but you can't just say I'm gonna be hard in this area and then it doesn't spill over into other stuff. Yeah. So it was just that, okay, at all costs, I just got to make sure that, you know. So,
what I realized, especially within the second and third one, more so the third one for sure, I mean, by this time, look, it was like, hey, had a little experience in that lost apartment, but I realized I needed to consciously ask my husband, how is he feeling? And get him to express how he's feeling to me, because I knew he wasn't just gonna automatically do it. He did a little bit, but not really. So do you feel like in the first time that she asked you, like that she was consciously asking you, like, how are you feeling? How are you doing
No,
today?
like I said, outside of the phone call, no.
She said
Okay.
she said
No, it
she
was-
asked him the first time.
But then after that, she was going through. So
Yeah.
it was like, not that I was like, she gonna ask me, she gonna ask me.
Yeah.
Again, it was that point of, okay, boom, wall, stone.
Question: Did you feel a little resentment because she wasn't checking on you?
I didn't like it, but it was that, it was confusing because it's like, man, it's like, what about me?
Yeah.
But then should I feel, what about me? Am I am I wrong? Because it's like, man, so it's like,
It's uncharted territory.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, she going through this, has to be this. I'm in the marriage too, but should I be concerned about how I feel, or is it just that? So again, how do I handle this? I gotta just, boom, I gotta go emotions, because I can't mourn, carry you mourning, watch the house, something is gonna break.
Yeah.
So me personally, I have found out, I know I can compartmentalize me. I can put me and how I feel to the side and only focus on other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? I gotta put me to the side and focus on Keisha. Gotta focus on my kids. Gotta focus on my other responsibilities.
Okay. I think that was really good because I feel like with men getting lost in that whole ordeal when the woman miscarries, they kind of can go in a place where they resent the wife because it's like, well, you didn't ask me, like you weren't checking on me, you know what I mean? Because they held it, and it can cause much strife in the house because it's like, well, I'm doing all this for you, and then you do this, but you're not thinking about me,
It's funny. I think people need an out. It still hurts, but you have to have a way to release.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, since I do music, I will go in the studio and record songs that no one will ever hear.
Right.
Because probably no one needs to hear these songs. But I'll be in the studio by myself and just blast all my emotions over a song, sit and listen to it, and I delete it because I'll be like, God, I have to repent. And that's how it is. Like, granted, I probably should have said something, but then again, my thought process was, okay, we've been through this. Keisha has gone through her process of healing. Now it would probably just be unfair for me to say, okay, no, I was hurt, And it might have been the right thing to do, but it just seems like,
Now when we got to the third one, it wasn't like that because I knew that was a whole different experience. That was a whole different experience from the first and the second one. So that was like, okay, I did ask him because.
Wait, before you get into it.
No, I don't want to get ahead of how you flow.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move. Let's go to the second one. So when was your second one?
December 30th
of last year. Okay, so first one June, and then I just reiterate. I'm reiterating for the live. The first one was June of last year. Then the second one December of last year. So walk us through that one.
I was actually at work. I started a new job, and we were in training, and I had already been going to the doctor after my confirmation pregnancy. Now, at this time, we were actually intentionally trying.
Okay.
And so we did know we was pregnant. We went on. But it was something about when I was laying like in the bed, I would feel these pelvic pains, but I was like, I don't know about it. And I was like, Dr. Google.
Most trusted doctor.
Your eyes will stop watering. You're dying.
You're 10 less of me. is leaking out your eyes. Like, wait a minute.
So I went to Dr. Google, and then I started just Googling these symptoms. And so the symptoms was reading like an ectopic pregnancy. Mm-hmm. And I was like, ectopic, like, oh, okay, that's... Then you know how you read something, you like, you know what, Lord, we pray this for spirits, this, da-da-da-da-da-da. But in your mind, you're still thinking about what I just read.
Yes.
So I tried to fight back, but then it was like this thought and what I really wanted, which was the baby, was fighting. Because I was like, okay, but now these symptoms do add up to what this is actually saying. So I had an appointment that week. And so they did the blood work, and I can't remember if this was, so not my doctor, the nurse. So when they did the blood work, they actually told me that my ECG levels were coming down, so that I may actually miscarry. But she was like, but I'm not sure. But it was so funny because when I went in for the ultrasound tech, she did our ultrasounds for our boys. Mm-hmm. So she's been there for a long time. But you know how, like, somebody moving so fast, it just makes you kind of nervous. Like, you just moving too fast. And so when we went in and she did the ultrasound, she just kind of move. And you know how they moving, like, I don't want you to ask me nothing. So I'm just going to move so fast and get you up out of here.
Yeah.
But she didn't do, like, the sound. I didn't hear a heartbeat. And when I looked at the ultrasound, I couldn't remember if I saw anything in the sac or not. Mm-hmm. So when we came out, I was like, hey, did you look at the ultrasound? And he was like, you know what, that's my bad. No, I wasn't even paying attention. I was like, dang, because I'm thinking, and I don't remember. Now this is where we go back to Dr. Google.
Yeah.
Because now I'm thinking, like, when I Google, I remember people saying this is what my ultrasound looked like. So I was like, man, I don't remember seeing nothing, whatever. So the nurse, the ultrasound was like, I can't give you any results. It has to be the doctor or the nurse who has to give it to you. And she was like, well, yeah, the ECG levels are going down. But she was like, but don't worry, because we can still save it. Now, even though she said that, I was like, I'm a miscarry. Mm-hmm. So December 30th, I was at work. Finished almost my whole shift down to the last 30 minutes. It just so happened I get up and a coworker just so happened to stop me and was like, hey, you have a spot on the back of your dress. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what? But he just kind of pulled me to the side, you know what I mean? And so I ran to the restroom, and it just so happened I miscarried at work. Wow. And so everything kind of passed at work or whatever have you. So luckily I had a blanket, and so the blanket I was able to kind of wrap myself around, and then I just went ahead and went home. And you know, you go through the whole going to the doctors every week. I did that for a couple of weeks because the levels had to come on down, and so that was pretty much that.
At work, man, I can't. Now I've only actually had a miscarriage. I guess experienced the whole passing once, because both times I lost, they were in my tubes and I had to go to surgery. Mm-hmm. So passing that baby, just remembering what that was at home, like to imagine at work and that's happening, like, man, I don't. Whew.
That's why it's like I said, it was Dr. Google or this. But then I didn't want to believe it, but subconsciously I believe like this is what this is what I'm going through, because they were like with an ectopic pregnancy, and the doctor was like, I can't say this is what made this happen. Yeah. Because it's no proven, it's so many factors into what could actually be. So you still have the pregnancy symptoms, your belly is still growing, you still have the cravings and all, you still have all the cravings, it's just no baby. Yeah. And so, I was like, well, okay. Well, once that happened at work, I called Gabe. At the time, I was getting off at about midnight, and was it New Year's Eve? I don't know if it was December 30th or the 31st. I just remember because I was getting off at midnight at that time. Mm-hmm. But like I said, luckily, I had my blanket or whatever have you, and then I just my man, and I went on home. And so that was kind of that. But when I remember when the nurse told me that, And we were driving off, and Gabe was like, "Well, are you okay?" And it was like when he asked me that, I just started crying.
When he asked, when you guys left the doctor to do the ultrasound? That's,
Right.
Okay.
Right. Because I was just like, now, the Lord had given us a word. And I said, but God, I know that you're not a liar. I know that you're not. So you have to make sense of this to me. And then not only make sense of this to me, like, quickly heal me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go into any sort of place of depression. I don't want to be like this, I don't want to feel that.
Yeah.
I just want to, not saying just get over it, but help me process it. Like, tell me what I need to do, like, as far as the steps. And so, when he asked me and I was crying, I was like, I'm going to be okay. I'm just asking God to heal me. Then he immediately started praying for me, you know, in the band. And that was pretty much.
So, when you got the call that she had miscarried the baby, walk us through your emotions when it happened.
It was just another thing that I was like, man, you know, I had to set aside me and go think about Keisha. So it was like, all right, Gabe, this is what it was. By that time, bricks was already, foundation of stuff was already built. So it was just another time where, all right, Gabe, it don't matter what you feel.
Yeah.
You gotta go home, you gotta do this, gotta lift up, gotta take care of the family. Because at the end of the day, they have a responsibility. And so it's just, you know, can't say it hurt a little less because at that time I was like stone cold. At that point, it is what it is. It happened. Okay, it's nothing I could do. It's nothing I can do for myself. There's nothing I can do. Gabe, do what you have to do.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So it was just okay.
And so you would say that you healed quicker on this one than you did with the first one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what challenges did you go through this second time, like in dealing with, well, in your grieving time, what challenges did you face in grieving?
I mean, I think it was why me? Or it wasn't, well, why me was the first one. The second one was like, now Lord, I know what you said. Now, this don't match up to what you said.
Yeah.
That was my mindset. So I'm like, now this don't match. Now 1 + 1 is 2. It don't equal 3.
Yeah.
So Lord, you got to, either we doing some treading and I'm not at that level, or so I'm not really sure.
It's a 1x plus 1.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to explain this to me, but as you explain it to me, quickly heal. Like this was like I'm literally praying. I'm like, God, no, you got to quickly because I can't. Like I just cannot. Going in like depression is not a good feeling. It's emotionally, it's not a good feeling. It's not good for your mindset. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for your family. It's not good for your ministry. It's not good for your business, your job, whatever. It's just not a good place. So that's really what I was honestly thinking. But God did it though. You know what I mean? I didn't have to go through the like the first time it was like I felt like the woman at the well. Like anytime I pray, I'm like, God, if I just could get to the altar, if I could just touch your hem, like I know that's where the healing is. And so this time it was just like, run this band, Lord, heal now. Because I just don't want to be in that space. I don't want to be in that space. So.
Did you guys tell anyone when it had happened?
Yeah, we did tell our leaders. We told some friends too.
I don't ever tell anybody unless you tell somebody.
Yeah, that was really kind of it. I don't think we like told too many people. Like our families really, they didn't know about none of the pregnancies.
Yeah.
Even like the last one, you was pregnant. What? Yeah, but Willie's like the best story. But yeah.
Okay, and so the third one, the last one, Jesus' name. So when was the third one?
October, because we celebrate
yeah, because I remember Lady J's birthday dinner was wasn't it in September?
Well, we had a birthday dinner for my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
It was on a Saturday in October. I think it was like the last Saturday. If it wasn't the last Saturday, it was the Saturday before that. So, that time, I still at the same job, and I had already been kind of back and forth to the doctor, confirming the pregnancy and everything, and what happened? So the nurse, I had some blood drawn after I had my confirmation pregnancy. ECG levels were good; they were going up. I had to take I can't remember.
Progesterone?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Because they were like, we want to keep those levels up, keep them going up. Taking a prescription, went back to the doctor to do a follow-up 2 weeks later. They did more blood work. They found out my levels were coming down. So she didn't call me a couple of days later. She was like, yeah, we're monitoring. I had to go back again that same week. We're monitoring. You will miscarry. And she's like, I'm very sorry about that. You know, of course. So that was it. So Saturday, my grandparents, we were giving them a birthday dinner at our house. And I was cooking, and this had to be like maybe 12 o'clock. Now, keep in mind, Thursday, Friday, I didn't go to work because what happened was I went to the restroom, I started to spot, and I thought I was going to miscarry again, but I didn't. So then Friday, same thing. I was spotting, I thought I was going to miscarry, but I didn't. Mm-hmm. So I had stayed at home because I was like, I do not want to miscarry at work. You know what I mean? That was like embarrassing enough. So it didn't happen. Well, then Saturday comes, functioning as normal, went to the store, came back, I'm cooking, and then I could kind of feel myself like starting to bleed. And so Gabe wasn't here, he had actually went somewhere, and then but when he came back and I had went to the restaurant, I was like, yeah, please go to the store, give me some pads. And he brought back the diaper pads, y'all. I was like, oh my God, these mugs is huge. But I think,
Wait, which one was it?
You brought this up the pig?
It was like a smile, y'all. Like, it was a smiling face.
No, it's the fact that I understood what they were for.
Yeah.
No, see, this is me. Keisha, no, I grew up. I grew up with women.
Yeah.
So when you tell me something, I grew up in a house of women. I've been buying pants my whole life. So when you tell me what you need them for,
I was like, these wasn't the ones.
So now I know what you need them for.
But no, but like I said, but I thank God that he actually did that because I needed the smile.
He knew what you needed.
I needed the smile. I needed the smile.
I'm saying because I had never bought these for before, and I had been before, but this time I knew it was not the same.
And it wasn't, and I thank God for that because I went through at least 25 of them. Woo. So
dang.
Yeah, and I had doubled up a lot of them. So what happened was when I was cooking and my people was coming over, I was like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna go and get back. I'm gonna clean myself up, just take a shower because this is happening.
Yeah.
So I didn't anticipate anything other than, of course, bleeding. Okay, but so time is passing. Now from 12 to about 7, I was bleeding this entire time. So, but it didn't register to me. So of course you kind of just feel I was feeling a little weak, but I was thinking, okay, I've just been kind of ripping and running, was cooking all day and stuff like that. So when I sat down, it just like my papa, he was like, baby, you all right? I was like, oh yeah, Papa, I'm good. I just need to sit down, just kind of need to chill out. He's like, oh, okay, all right. Now, he's never asked me that.
Yeah.
So, everybody else, just, because I wasn't going to, in my mind, I wasn't thinking, well, I'm going to cut the party short, release gone. I was like, okay, I'll just be all right.
Yeah.
But so, I would just go and change my pads or whatever, come back out, go in. So, I was just like that all Saturday. And so, then at the end, my granny asked the same thing. She's like, like, yo, you okay? You don't look. I was like, no, I'm fine. So everybody leaves. It's probably like 7. So I go to the restroom one more time. I'm in there, and I was in there for a while. Gabe knocked on the door. You okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. Now, when I came out and he wasn't in here, and I was calling for him because when I got up off of the toilet, I felt really weak and I felt dizzy. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, Gabe. He wasn't in here. He had went outside. My mom was here, and she was like, Gabe was outside. And I said, okay. So then he comes back in, and then I'm just like, I could feel myself talking to him, but I didn't know if I was talking to him. Mm-hmm. Because now I'm kind of seeing spots. I don't know if what's happening. And I was like, I need to sit down. He was like, well, what you all right? What's going on? I said, I don't know. Like, and so now I feel my head kind of slump, like, because now I can't even lift my head. And I couldn't even say any words because words wouldn't even come out. And so I was just pointing to a chair. We had a black chair. And so he's like, okay, you want the chair? I was like, and so I sit down and I'm just kind of like, I can't say nothing. And then as I'm sitting there, I just thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord, in my mind, this is what I'm praying. Please do not let me die. Like, because I have children, I have my husband, it's so much more that you have for me that I know. But I couldn't articulate it. Mm-hmm. I couldn't say out of my mouth, I feel like I'm dying. Like, that's just what I wanted to express. So Gabe was like, I feel like he was kind of getting frustrated because he's like, well, what's happening? What's going on? And I couldn't say anything. So he got, he got up, he helped me to put my underwear back on and stuff like that. So, we went to the ER. The ER, they helped me out. And so it was kind of like a massacre from here, the emergency room, and so in the emergency room, when we went there, they were like, okay, they checked me and stuff like that, and they were like, oh, some tissue that's still stuck right here, we just need to pull tissue out. Once we do that, it should stop the bleeding. So he went in, he did that, which that was excruciating. Like, I was screaming, and he was just, I'm so sorry. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, once we do this, you should stop bleeding. However, once he did that, I didn't. It seemed like I was bleeding more. So then they had to rush me to the hospital, and they had to do an emergency DNC.
Okay, so I'm gonna back up a little bit to when the doctor told you, okay, listen, you're gonna miscarry this baby. Mm-hmm. So from the time she told you that up until the time it happened, it's like, okay, you're just going through like, I know any day now, mm-hmm. this is about to happen. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling during that time?
Well, I said, well, I believe the Lord's word. This is what I was telling myself. Like, because yes. I didn't. I said, I just don't connect with it. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember if I was told, I said, I don't connect with what she's saying. Like, that doesn't resonate with me. So, okay. So I still went to work.
So what about with you when she said that, and during that time before the miscarriage happened, how did you take it?
I was checked out. But it's the third one, it's like, boom, complete wall. So I was, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, I'm going through the motions because, again, it's just another built-up thing that, you know, don't concern me. In that sense that I'm not, so I was checked out. It was, okay.
Okay. So once it actually, well, when you started to spot, because, okay, you said during that time, you were just like, hey, I got the faith, you know, spirit up, you know, I know, I was there, I was just, Lord, he got our blessings, you know, so when you started spotting, did it change for you? Did you, like, or when did anything change, like, during the spotting time or when it actually started to happen?
when I started to spot, it was like my heart sunk. I was like, oh man, no, Lord, no, this is not what you said.
Yeah.
I know, but it wasn't until then, because from Monday I went to work, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was on the Thursday. Once I started to spot, I was like, oh dang, like this is really about to happen.
Yeah. So during that time when she was the whole episode with the bathroom and her feeling weak and like you seeing that, how were you in that moment? Like she can't talk, she's weak. How are you feeling?
Like I said, up until that point, like I said, I was probably extra rude because I was checked out. I was just apathy had set in, whatever.
Yeah.
But when it happened, for a second, it scared me because this exact same thing happened with my mom. I remember being at her apartment, she bleeding over everything. I have to carry my mom out the house while she bleeding on me.
Yeah.
Put her in the hospital, and I'm just like, God.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm talking to my mom. Mama, you all right? You all right? Talking to Keisha, you all right? And both of them, the exact same thing. So it's just like, I can't do this. It's just piling up. I'm like, I cannot do this. And so it's just, but in the same thing, I have to set me aside. I'm like, okay, regardless of how I feel, it's happening. This is real.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so that's going on. I'm literally having to pick Keisha up off the floor. I have to move her leg, move on, do all of this. And I'm just like, oh God. So then I just get up and I tell her mom, and thank God her mom was here.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I didn't have to worry about. So I was like, man, I gotta do this and the kids.
Yeah.
So I was just like, hey, I need you to watch the kids. I gotta take you to the emergency room. I don't know what she said after that. I said that. And then I was just like, man, the whole time sitting up there, it's just like, again?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we going to the emergency room. Keisha in the passenger seat slumped over. I gotta get up. Flashback, mom running in there, coming out with a wheelchair. Here, Keisha coming in with a wheelchair, pushing up there. She incoherent and all that kind of stuff. I'm sitting next to the bed. She bleeding over everything. I'm like, bleeding down to her socks and stuff. And I'm just like, God. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this can't be happening. And so, again, it's still, I have to just, set it aside. Then they doing this stuff. I'm seeing her, she in pain. And I'm just like, man. I was like, I'm first mom, I'm my wife? I was like, what? So, it was just like, okay. So I'm watching her, and then they, like she said, it didn't stop. So they got to rush to Willowbrook. So I'm like, oh, God. Then, so they putting her she going in the ambulance. I can't ride in the ambulance, so I go in the car. I go to Willowbrook. We about to have a problem in Willowbrook because they don't know what Keisha is. I'm like,
what?
So I was sitting. So the thing was that when we got there, I was sitting on the outside part of the emergency room. Like on the inside of the hospital, like, once you go through the doors.
Yeah.
So I was sitting right there. So what happened was the clinic that we went to, that they transported me from, he was more concerned with getting me over to Willowbrook. Like, so it's some paperwork, that's still involved. But he was like, no, like, she has to go now.
Yeah.
Like, so as soon as they get her to go. So I made it to the hospital before my paperwork and stuff made it there. So they had to, so I was sitting on this bed, and I literally, like, I could feel the blood. It just would not stop. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm just sitting in this chair. I told Amber, I said, I'm so sorry. She's like, no. Like, we got stuff, we clean up, we good. I just want to be sure you're okay. She was a real sweet girl. And so then I was there for like 30 minutes. And then they finally came in.
yeah.
I can just imagine how mad I'd have been that they said,
I know, I went in there and I'm like,
bro.
yeah, I'm going this, they that came from me saying, we don't have.
Come on.
What? And I was like, okay, maybe they ain't made it here yet.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting down and I go back. And like, no, we don't have. I'm like, this. I'm calling. I called the and I'm like, you sent it here, right? And like, yeah, so I'm going back and forth with this lady, and I'm just like,
whoa.
and so
I'm really getting bored on the inside. Like, you don't know what's in your head. Like, of all the things you can tell me, you cannot say you don't know what's in there.
yeah, so finally, the woman, I guess she see that I'm frustrated, so she gets up and she says, hold on, let me check one more thing. And it's granted, I've been there for like 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so she goes to the back, and then they're like, okay, she is here, but they didn't do it. I was like, okay, because I'm like, I know.
Oh, God.
Because here it is, I'm talking to you, you say she not here. I'm calling the ER, they say she left. So she not there, she not here. So I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
And so finally they told me, when I saw Keisha, I was like, no, when they told me, I couldn't go back there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, can you please tell her that I have been here? Because I can only imagine you just in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
by yourself. So I'm like, so I'm like, can you tell her that I have been here? Yeah. But she said she saw me somehow.
When they wheeled me in, I saw you through the doors. I saw you walking in, but I couldn't be like, hey. I didn't have my phone, like, because I didn't have anything.
Yeah, I just wanted them to make sure, let me know
like,
that I'm here.
Right there.
I have been here. I
can't stop at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
He said he was hungry.
It's like, because at the ER, as soon as they showed up, I left before she got anything. Because I'm like, I told her, I said, y'all can run lights and stuff. Yeah. I can't run no lights. Yeah. So once they got there, I said, I'm going to leave so I can make it there before you or right there. Because I know, like I said, you get the sirens and you there.
Yeah.
So then I get there and they're like, who?
Yeah.
Who? I was like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then after that, we got here and it was like a relief that I was like, okay. But it was still that, just another thing, boom, in the same situation.
Yeah.
Just care for Keisha. And it was probably, it could have been some bitterness things. I'm like, oh, here we go again. It's the care by Keisha game. That's over here. And you can never, like I said, come back and be like, okay, you know.
But I asked you because I kind of figured, like, after I was like, when we were in the band? Because I was like, how did it make you feel? Like, how did you feel? And he was like, I don't know if you said he was scared, but I remember you saying like it just reminded him of his mom.
Yeah.
And I know because I was there, and so I was like, you know, how are you now? Like,
it was just one of those. I'm alright.
Yeah.
You know, because what else can you say? Because it's still that. It's still happening to you. So it's by that point, like I told you, I was checked out as far as emotion. It was just more of a, okay, I know I just have to be here, play this role, take care of the family. So it went from that, the first thing was like, oh, to now it's just like stone. Then it got harder and harder, and it is what it is now.
Yeah.
Just,
So, at any point, did you, well, what effect did that have on you with building the wall up and not really expressing and putting yourself to the side? Like, what did that do to you?
Well, like I said, it made me be, like I said, less emotional and sympathetic to her because it was the fact of, you know, deep down, it's like, okay, we married together, but this is just about you. It doesn't matter about me.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was just, okay, my whole goal now is just to get the family here. Because it's like, I can't, it's like, I can't take it. It's just, and with no outlet, you know, I can only make so many songs. And
well, you had called the apostle.
Yeah, I called him. I talked to our apostle and stuff, but it's still like okay, this is built up, mom, miscarriage, almost. So it's like, and none of those did I just feel like I got the chance to where it was like, okay, Gabe, let's just really just, you all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm good. Are you sure? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I guess so, So it's just like, okay.
And it's funny because, like, I remember the way that I found out that you was pregnant was, we was talking about something in the foyer, and then he was like, you know how the pregnant women is, something like that. And then I was like, oh, Miss LaKeisha pregnant. So then after that, we had came over here, and you was laying down in the bed. And when we had got home, I was like, text Miss LaKeisha to make sure she good, because I don't know, because you said she wasn't feeling good. And I remember the first miscarriage, because when we went out to eat, you told us about the first miscarriage. I didn't know that y'all miscarried twice. So then that's what was making me think, just check on her to see, because I wasn't gonna ask, So then I remember you said, that you did get a bad report, but then the next time we had talked, you was like something that y'all had got was right, like they had said something was better or something like that. So I was thinking everything was good. So when I found out, really, I can't remember how I found out y'all miscarried. I can't remember how I found out that y'all had miscarried. But it was like after the fact. Like it wasn't like a day after or something like that. It was like 3 or 4 days after. I had texted her today. I was like, man, I didn't know, if you need something. But if I would have knew it was like that, then I probably would have called or something, because I didn't think all of that happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I really didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know that it happened when it happened. So then it was like, I didn't know that it was that traumatic. Like, I would have came over here or something.
No, that's what because after the DNC, they had to keep me, number one, because I lost a lot of blood. And then number two, I had the IV, but they wanted to make sure, like, my blood levels, like, was...
Did you have to get any blood transfusions?
I didn't have to get any blood transfusions.
That's good.
But it was so funny because my granny called me like the next day at the hospital, and she's like, okay, so how you doing? I was like, I'm good. You know how you're in trouble? I'm good. And she was like, now don't you ever do that again. I'm like, yes ma'am. She was like, because she was like, I'm not even gonna say it. She was like, she was alluding to women lose their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I told her, I said, I didn't think anything of it. I really didn't, because the day was just kind of going on. I was like, okay, I'm just going to go in here. And I didn't want to take, because we were celebrating their birthday. And I didn't want to just take away from that. I wasn't feeling any type of way. I thought my lightheadedness was really from me moving around. I wasn't thinking about the bleeding. And then I didn't think anything about, the first time I miscarried, I remember bleeding. I just didn't know as far as the exodus. You know what I mean? Like, so my mind wasn't in that space. And she was like, don't you ever do that again. Like, and I knew something was wrong. She was like, but I wasn't going to say nothing. Yeah. I was going to wait. And so, and in my mind, I didn't even know you was pregnant. I was like, yeah, because this is what I was going to say earlier. Because the thing was, when we found out we was pregnant, I was like, okay, we're going to do this whole big announcement. And we had just talked about, okay, so how we going to do it? We're going to take some pictures and do this type of stuff. And then it happened. Yeah. So, but a lot of people didn't know, like, the whole, like, what actually happened that Saturday. Even, like, my family members and stuff, like, who was here. And then it was so funny because even Thanksgiving, my sister-in-law, she was like, oh, yeah, it'd be so good to have a little niece. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, yeah, it could. I about lost my life. But no, but nobody knew about this. Yeah. So, even like with my sabbatical, with my coming off of social media, like from October 2018, which even though, so even though that happened after the miscarriage, but it was like kind of right after that, found out about the second one, and I was like, oh Lord, this is too much going on. Let me just kind of chill out. Yeah. And so even like with this third miscarriage, my doctor, he was kind of dumbfounded because he was like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm looking at your test results. Everything is good. There's nothing wrong with your thyroids. I would just suggest if y'all really wanted, just to keep trying.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even, because he was like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He's like, I'm sorry, because I can't really pinpoint this.
What's going on?
Yeah. Like I said, me, it was, like I say, within the span of the 5 years, my mom, then my stepdad, then Keisha, then Keisha, then Keisha,
Yeah.
Keisha, and it's just, you know.
That sounds like a movie, man.
And I'm just like, and all
All
of
of our
our
kids, I'm like, what? This is what's happening?
yeah, and over the course of that, I'm a professional emotion suppressor
Yeah.
because
Man.
So when was your breakthrough moment?
I hadn't had one.
You hadn't had one yet?
No,
Okay.
because now is the first time that I ever even told my side of the story.
Well, praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord, you know.
But even in doing this, do you feel like it's a sort of relief
Release.
for you?
Yeah,
Release,
release,
and
yeah.
how do you feel with speaking out about it at this moment?
It is a release because you know it sucks feeling like you don't have an outlet, because it's let's say God is awesome.
Yes.
He's awesome. But I don't know, just me. Sometimes you need a tangible person
Yeah.
to say blah, you know.
Blah.
You know.
But it's different. I get
Again,
it.
because I feel like
it's you because it's like you already going through this. I don't want to bring it to you.
yeah, and then like I said, by the time I have to push it down because again, like I said, I can't. If you go through this for
I'm not
months,
dumping back
5
on you.
months later after you go through it,
Okay, but let's talk about that. Like, because for me, I wanted to hear you. I wanted to hear how you were feeling.
I feel
You know, I think it's that assumption, but it's like, no, that doesn't make it better for me that you're suppressing it. Because then it kind of made me feel like, well, dang, are you feeling some type of way? Like, are you hurt? Like, how you feeling? You know?
Exactly.
Like, we need to, in that time, like, we can grieve together. Like, 'cause we both lost a baby. It's not like I just lost a baby. We lost a baby. So I feel like it's very important for the man to also be like, hey, not put yourself aside but say, hey, babe, you know, today, listen, I'm having a hard day, you know, and this is how I'm feeling, and, you know,
See,
you guys could,
that's cool. It sounds good.
yeah,
But when I wake up and see you having a hard day,
yeah,
I can't.
Because it's part of our love for y'all.
Because
it's like,
it's like I don't know if this is true or not, but as a man, I have to play the background. I have to because what if both of us in here crying?
At least you're together.
okay, let me
But
try
what's-
to get it
but what's
together.
going on?
Help us.
But what's going-
Heal
because-
us, Lord.
No, like I'm saying, like for instance, like you get to stay home, you get to rest, you get to lay in the bed and mourn all day because you know I'm gonna get up and go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
No, that's
No,
not.
I'm not saying that.
But we don't think like
Hold up.
that.
now we're not saying that you're thinking about
But
this,
that's an innate
but
thing.
yeah.
You know that the
It's
house.
the reality.
The reality is, you know,
It's
you
not
know,
saying like you taking
Okay.
advantage of it.
Well, what about this? What about this? What about men getting with other men? Like I had told Tony, I was like, you need to speak to the men. Like actually not thinking about, not trying to figure out, okay, well who dealt with this, but like just, hey, men, who all can meet up with me? I need to talk. And then coming together like, listen, this is just how I've been feeling. You know, my wife did this and that, and I'm feeling like God this, and you know, I'm feeling a little bitter towards my wife because like you getting all the attention. Like being able to release that to other men. Like, what about what do you feel like outside of not knowing who? What else do you feel like kept you from really coming together with the other men and speaking about that?
I think this is one of those things. Like again, I grew up like this. Like putting me aside, focusing on other people because I didn't have an out.
Yeah.
So that's something that God is still working on with me now. To realize it's okay that this hurts you. It's okay to say this. Because I grew up in a space where if I said, well, this is what happened, no, it didn't. It did. No. So it's like, okay, I got to the point now where it doesn't even benefit me to say anything, because if you're gonna say something, but it's not gonna be received, and you're not gonna be able to. That's just gonna make me even madder because I'm telling you something and you're just completely just disregarding it. That's gonna make me feel even worse. So now I learned to just I just accept it and just realize that okay, God, you know, and that's unhealthy. But so it just rolled over. Okay, I'm just in another situation to where boom. So. And that's why I just feel like I can, I'm like, oh, okay. Because even Professor J, our first lady, she was like, you think that it's okay for you to just feel like you can't be happy or something? And even I've had this conversation with Keisha before, how, you know, stuff that other people just all giddy about, all right.
I'm like, you don't have no excitement, no elevation in your voice, no nothing.
You know, it's just like, you know, it's just, whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because
I just told you, like, we won $1 million. All right.
You know, and it was across anything because I've formed a way to say, you know what, I cannot get happy for too long because is no one really cares about what I think or what I feel. So it's just like, and then you become apathetic in one area and it bleeds over into everything else. So now it's just like, all right. And Professor J was like, you think that's normal? And that's normal for me.
Yeah.
And she was like, but it's not. Why do you think you can't be happy? And I never even thought about it because I was like, I thought I was happy. You know, why do I have to jump up and yell? Why do I have to? But you know, I guess that's normal.
Like, why not?
not to jump up and yell, but it's like, yes, like people can tell, like, you know what I'm saying, and well, it could be because of my facial expressions, but you know, like just as fake, like you get like, oh yeah, like you know, you say, I'm so proud of you, like good job.
See? And it was just that's how that was me. I felt my emotions and how I feel about the matter doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It only matters about the other person. And growing up, I was in a position of, okay, I guess y'all don't care, so I still have to uphold this. So here it is now. It's like, oh, okay, I guess LaKeisha. So,
but that's why I asked about even after, because I knew, you know, like your spouse response, like I just know, but I'm also not a pushy person when it comes to that, because I'm also a person that I feel like when you ready, you know, once I act, like you'll say something, like I don't do the. You okay? You okay? You all right? You okay? You sure? Okay? Like I don't. That's not me. Because I don't like that, and I do other people like that. So when I asked him, I was like, okay, how did you feel? And when he said, oh, you know, I feel like that was my mom, I was like, oh, you know, the same thing situation with my mom. I was like, okay, well, you know, you all right? Even when his mother passed. You know, I had to just kind of reassure him, like, it's okay sometimes if you just need to kind of go in the restroom, cry your eyeballs out, and then, you know, come back and recollect yourself. Like, you have to give, I told him that, like, there's nothing wrong with that. And then in the same space of, well, we have children, our oldest son, who inquires about her. Well, and I knew emotionally he couldn't really handle it. And I'm like, well, look at this space. You're grieving, but so is he. Now, I'm saying give yourself the space to do that so that way you can come back to him and help him. Yeah. Because he doesn't, you understand it at another level that he does not. He's not going to get it. So, that's why I'm like, well.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. So, what would you, so I'm going to start with you as we close, but what would you tell another man, another couple, like since you done went through it, what advice would you give another couple that is going through that, and specifically the man?
I would say just be open, you know, because it doesn't benefit you to hold it in or to just take the hard. Don't get hard, because from a hard place, it's hard to come from that place. And then protecting yourself, you hurting the other person. So it's really counterproductive. So it's like you just have to foster a space or find that space to where you can not slide yourself in, but you know, because I'm a person like, okay, I'm the hood, so I can't just be all day just crying. I can't be doing, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, but you do have to find that space to where, because like me, like I say, after think just multiple things and not releasing just hard, it's just like whatever.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that. You know, it shouldn't be whatever. I should be able to, with every situation, get it more and release it. So when the next time, God forbid, should it happen, it's another, you know, you're happy to grieve it and you release it because you don't want to, like I said, build up bitterness or resentment or just be looking at your spouse like, you don't care about me at all. It's just all about you. You asked me how I was feeling, but that was just like, you just, all right, I am married.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah.
You know, so it's just be conscious of your emotions. You know.
Okay. And what about you? What advice would you give to a married couple dealing with this, specifically the woman?
I would say really stay in the word. It's okay to consult with people or talk with people who've gone through the same thing. Trust your leaders. There are people who are secretly and openly praying for you and covering you. Just be sure you take care of, you know, your mental health. Because some don't realize it's like postpartum. It's real. Just because you say you're not saved from postpartum. So, like, but the grace that God gives us, we have His Word, which we know is sharper than a two-edged sword. So we know that it can cut through anything. So it doesn't mean that that won't come towards you, but as it comes towards you, you have the Word to cut through it. So that's one of the main things I would definitely say. And then like just recognize, I mean, you're human. You know what I mean? Like we're not robots.
Yeah.
You know, so there is a soft side, there's a feeling side to us. And so once you're in a place where, okay, this is how I feel. It's not who I am.
Right.
It's how I feel. But God, show me. That's God's bit. Like I said, no, you need to show me. And then let's show me moving forward what to do.
Yeah.
But God is a God of detail. So why wouldn't He tell you specifically what to do, how to heal, according to His Word, according to the Scripture? That's what it's there for, to deliver, heal, restore. So that's one of the things I would say.
Yeah. And I would just encourage just miscarrying altogether, like regardless with children or no children, we have to start speaking out. Like, what's the point of being a part of a community if when tragic happens, we don't like, hey, this is what's going on in my life right now. Yeah. Like, we're quick to share the rejoicing story, but it's like, hey, I can't be scared to share that, hey, this is what's going on. I really feel like that's one of the things I really do kind of regret is when I did go through that. Like, I wish I would have been more open with the community of women that I have, you know, at church. Because we have a great body of women there. And I feel like that just speeds up the recovery. Because it's no way you can be isolated then. Because, I mean, come on, you're dealing with one or two persons, like, they can't comfort you all day, but if you have multiple people, you know, it's like different people to pull on. They can message you. That person might just pop up to your house, and that may be just what you need. So I really just admonish everyone to utilize the people you have in your life. Utilize them. Do not isolate
I would have
yourself.
said like the last time that we had technically it's the first time I had a miscarriage, but
Yeah.
the last baby that we lost, I know like it did help me because like when we went to church that Thursday when we first found out that the baby didn't have a heartbeat, it helped me that Elder Gabe was like, "What's going on?" Gabe was like, "What's going on?" Then it was funny because it's like something going on with your job, this, and that. And then like when you, because I couldn't say what it was. It's like my mom would not let me say that the baby don't have a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But when you said it, he talked to me, like it made me feel better. And he was like, I remember he was like, reach out to me. If you want to talk about it, reach out to me.
Yeah.
And when we did actually lose the baby, I reached out to him, and he comforted me in what he said, and and the other people that I reached out to. But it took me, I guess, until then, like I didn't understand the power in it.
Yeah.
Because I was like that too. Like when I grew up, it was like, don't worry about Tony. Tony is good.
Yeah.
Like even I told you before, like my mama always, even like she gonna make fun of this when she watch it. Cause last time she was like, when I was talking to her, she was like, "You okay?" Cause you say I don't never check on you. I didn't mean it like that. But it really showed like she was just confident in me being emotionally there, but I really wasn't. Even like I thought, even times when I think I am, I'm really not.
Right.
But unless I take advantage of that community of men that's around me, then and it's like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't I take advantage of gay being there for me? Why wouldn't I do it?
It's one of those things that's new because, like I say, coming from that space, it's like sharing.
Yeah.
What?
But it did make me feel better sharing. Like it did make me.
And well, I guess not glad, but I'm glad stuff like this happened in my saved life.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how people do stuff and go through stuff. Because man, I know I'd have tore some stuff up.
Yeah.
What? You don't know what she ate? Come on, man. Oh man, the hospital was got burned out that day. Nah, be on the movie, you did all this damage, then you finally be like, oh, my bad. The damage is done.
Let me picture this.
No, we turning tables.
Yeah, while I'm handcuffed to her.
I'm handcuffed to the bed because I didn't turn this whole hospital upside down.
Oh, one other thing I would add to keep the communication open.
Yes.
Between you and your spouse.
Yes.
So, we could easily forget as wives. Like, I don't want to just be like, oh, Mary, how are you? I don't want to be, you don't want to be like that. So it's keeping each other in remembrance, knowing that you're both mourning a loss. Yeah. And so we could even get lost in it in our mental, like in our psyche, like this what I'm going through, this what I. And so you can easily, so that's one of the things. And then, just cover each other in prayer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and
not just the praying, watch you sleep, like actually pray aloud. Touch and pray aloud.
Declare the word of God. That's what it's there for. So thank you. So now you got makeup on your hand. So decree and declare the word over your spouse. Your family is your first ministry. So if you can't speak over, declare over, prophesy to, teach your family, you're gonna be effective really in the earth. So that's one of the main things I would say. You're keeping each other prayer, being specific in those prayers, in those declarations out loud, like you said, immediately. Like if you feel your spouse in the spirit, pray. Like I just feel you could be at work, they could be at home, but it's something that'll connect. Even like as a mother, with my children, I know that it's something off. Yeah. Like even people say, oh, that motherly intuition, like that's real. I know it's something. Even though my child is there, I'm just not. It's not settled. Yeah. And so the enemy doesn't want you to be settled. So
it's fatherly intuition too. No, I would say off of that too. Don't wait till tragedy strikes to realize that your communication is off. Just start talking now. Get to know each other now. Realize that, hey, your husband is apathetic based on this. Realize your wife is going through this. so you can start tearing down the walls that's already there.
Yeah.
Instead of just something happening, you just building upon a wall, and where it was small, you waited till 16 tragedies till you realize. You know, and now it's like, man, it's so many layers you got to get through because you didn't realize, oh man, I didn't realize this, I didn't realize that. Like you said, realize each other. Don't assume anything about your wife. Don't assume anything about your husband. Communicate. Realize that I'm mourning and there is a other person. So both people can be like, oh, okay. You know?
Yeah.
But as a husband, you still in the midst of, even if you all are doing this, still take care of your household.
Yes.
Yeah.
You still gotta take care of your household. Yeah, because but yeah.
All right. Well, we just want to thank you guys for choosing to do this, choosing to speak out and shed light on it, and just even tell the world of this story, being vulnerable to the world. We really appreciate it. Yes, and we thank you guys also. We thank you guys also for tuning in tonight with us. We know the time kind of went over, but we thank you guys.